The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Tsuburaya Productions. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tokucast Reviews, episode number 164. Marcus and Jacob here to discuss our thoughts on the 20 years after specials for both Hurricaneger and Abaranger.
Next year, we'll be doing the one for Deca Ranger, because that
goodness.
already got announced.
So many Deca Ranger movies. It's Tuesday, time for a new Deca Ranger movie.
Mom,
Not that I will complain, I enjoy the Deca Rangers.
Mom, is a new Deca Ranger out? Give it 5 minutes, sweetie. I'm sure it'll come out. But yeah, we're going to do this in order, of course, so the Hurricaneger one will come first. And then we'll talk about the Abaranger one.
Okie dokie.
We'll say, once again, everybody looks great. I'll say that across the board for both of these. Of course, our favorite, I'm just going every single place, but Nanami looks amazing because now Nagasawa refuses to age. 2 kids and still looks that damn good.
She looks great.
She looks amazing.
As do I think everyone in the cast. I think they haven't missed a beat.
Yeah.
Everyone does a great job.
Yeah.
Especially since they're playing multiple characters.
Yes.
Playing both our Hurricanegers and our Go Riders and also their ancestors. Because this is a period piece. With some time travel shenanigans.
The Dawn Brothers did have 2 tie-ins to both of these, actually.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, little specials beforehand. The Hurricaneger one.
This is the one that I liked. Not to give too much away.
There were moments that I did like. Then the confusion set in. Why is this a period piece?
Here's my take on this. This did not feel like a 20 years after special for Hurricaneger.
No, it didn't.
This feels more like a celebration of the Hurricaneger actors.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because they're all great.
It does not feel at all like 20 years later, let's catch up with the Hurricanegers and let's see how they're doing and let's see what's going on with them. They've got a new mission. There's a new bad guy to fight. No, this is a straight up period piece where it's like a period piece crossed with a little bit of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Where we have a villain who is trying to gather some gems that were created by the creation of the universe and use them to
make a wish to
bring back the big bad from Hurricaneger.
Yeah.
Who she is in love with.
Yes. Because she was a prostitute in the planet and he took her away from that.
Yes.
This should have not been named the Hurricaneger 20
This should have been like Hurricaneger Marvelous Adventure Across Time.
Pretty
or
much.
Hurricaneger Let's Get Back the Gems or
because the Hurricanegers
something like that.
Themselves were barely in this.
They're barely in it because, again, it feels like a celebration of the actors.
Yeah.
This is because
we all know how much we love this cast.
Yes, we love the cast. They're all great.
No Hurricaneger.
Yeah, he's not in this, but honestly, I feel like that was fine because, again, the Hurricaneger could be anybody. That's part of his whole charm.
It was good to see, like, legitimately every single actor from the show come back. And I was really surprised to see the guy who played their master come back because I wasn't sure he was still alive.
No, he is, and there he was.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice seeing him again because the way our movie opens is we have people in they're like we have like a couple ninjas that sneaking into a castle. They get a thing, they get out, and then we see that. What looks like the people who look like the Go Riders but are never addressed as such have captured Nami and they have her at, like a kunai to her throat. And they're like, we're going to get her. We're going to kill her, hand over the thing or she's dead. They do. And then they save her life. 20 years go by. And then it's like, yeah. So then they just kind of lived like, doing other various low level jobs. One lived as like a singer, one became a parent, the other one is off like drinking and doing bodyguard work.
Yeah.
And so they're off doing their own thing, and then it's like, oh no, I hope they can handle this job. And turns out they have to capture a gem that is being held by a princess. Evil lady has come back to what is her name? Ori
Sanjo.
Orianda, thank you.
Oranda.
Oranda.
Yeah.
Oranda and Anja
Yeah.
are our two villains this time of the Ura Seven Spears.
The other Seven Spears that got introduced in the 10 years after.
Mm.
So this is just continuously going on with that storyline. So in the 30 years after, we'll get the rest of them.
So, yeah, like you said, the Hurricanegers and the Go-Rigers, they're barely in this.
Yeah.
This is mostly following the period versions of those characters as they, pick themselves and dust themselves off with words of encouragement from their future ancestors. Descendants, thank you. And they fight the bad guy, the bad gal, and we get some good out of suit action.
Yeah.
With them using we see them using old school, retro, I guess, ninja techniques, with the springs on the feet.
Yeah.
Things like that.
And the paddles on the feet going across water.
To run across water, that was kind of cool.
It's also great to see them actually do all of their own stunts, pretty much.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really liked, is there was a lot of... Because the whole, last 20 minutes of this is pretty much all action.
Yeah, and then during the credits...
The first 30 minutes of this go by really quick.
Yeah, they do.
They go by really, really fast.
It's only an hour special for both of these.
Yeah, it's 50-some minutes, including the credits. And, it goes by really, really brisk pace. And, yeah, we get some really good, out-of-suit stunt work. One of the things, my favorite thing about this whole special was the footage that plays during the credits, the behind-the-scenes stuff.
That's part of it. I loved it.
I loved that so much. Seeing the actors... And seeing, where the camera is positioned and, seeing them talking to the director. And we have, here's one of the Go-Rigers, and, we see him, jump off of a roof. There's two stuntmen, he's fighting them, and then he jumps off of a roof onto, a mattress below. And they've got, the camera pointed up so they can catch him, jumping off. They have another scene where, I think it's Yellow is, jumping up, and he runs up, and he does, a jumping slash, and we see him, land on a pad.
Yeah.
And it's just, seeing that, little behind-the-scenes B-roll is the best part about this movie.
It's great. I really do like it.
It's a little sad that, not the movie itself is anything the best part, but still, it was great to see.
I like the new Hurricane Red form.
The only one of them who does transform is Red.
Yes.
And I like this form, too.
Because he gets it from
regular Red.
Well, he gets it from Obero.
Oh, right. Does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
She sends it back to the past.
Right, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I like the form. It's a very pretty form.
It looks really good. Looks like a kabuki costume. The Naginata as a weapon, I really like. I hope I'm getting the weapon name right.
We need more of those. It's sure.
Because we've talked at length before about weapons that we don't see in Toku a lot of times just swords, guns, so on and so forth. But to see a Naginata and just see it get used the way that it does is pretty cool. I think the action scenes that they set up with this particular form are well done. Yeah, overall pretty good.
Yeah, I like this one. It was okay. I just really don't think it should have been named Hurricane.
Yeah, calling it Hurricaneger 20 years after, bit of a misleading thing because it's not about the Hurricanegers. It feels like a celebration of the actors.
Yeah,
they're all very good in this.
Yeah,
and overall, I think that's fine. I also want to give props to Oranda, the villain.
She was great.
I thought
about her.
She was amazing.
She had presence.
She has presence. I love her outfit. Just her costume is amazing.
Something about her was just she is threatening but sexy, and I'm here for it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that sort of fits with her backstory. She said she was a prostitute. That's sort of what she had to be. So I really appreciate just them leaning into that.
Mm-hmm. Shall we move on?
Yeah. Let's move on to the
Abaranger one. This one is trash.
Yeah,
I thought this one was trash. I'm not gonna mince words.
This is not great.
Wow.
The first half of it just oh my god, they're talking about cancel culture.
So the first half of this movie, the entire first half is someone is trying to get the Abarangers canceled.
Yeah.
So she's trying to get the Abarangers canceled. Why? Because she got bullied as a kid because she couldn't dance to the Abaranger theme song.
Which, I mean, the wackiness of it does feel correct for Abaranger. But it is so badly written. It's the heavy-handedness of it. It's just they're really going into cancel culture for this. And it just doesn't feel great.
It feels like It feels like somebody skimmed a Wikipedia article on what cancel culture is and then wrote the movie about it.
Yeah, it feels weird.
There is no subtlety in this whatsoever.
It feels real weird.
It feels very... The professor, whatever her name was, I think it's Iota.
Yeah.
Iota...
It's not on here. I don't really care.
Okay, but either way, she is just such a ham-fisted edgelord.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when she has that line of like, the tears that I have cried from my humiliation will never dry, which she says on live television,
which is weirdly in line with just like, oh yeah.
Okay, right. I will say though, the TV section. I will say this movie as a whole did get a couple of good laughs out of me. There was one character in the TV interview. The guy who keeps like standing up and he keeps trying to...
Hiroshi Watari?
Yeah,
him.
The
guy who played Eiji's father and was also a Shariban in Spielbahn. The only reason he's in this is because his wife is the voice actor for Terra.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, he made me laugh.
He was great.
I think he has great comedic chops in this because he's always like standing up in the interview and trying to talk, and the moderator's like, "Sir, please sit down."
He does his,
every time he tries to talk, the moderator shuts him down, and it's hilarious.
He does Shariban's pose at one point during it.
Yeah.
He also does Abare Blues roll call.
Yeah,
he was great. He was really good. He's probably the best part of the first half of this movie because nothing else was really doing it for me.
Oh boy. Yeah. So. Just like the genesis of it all starting, where she films them fighting the new Trinoid, the gecko guy.
Which came from the Dawn Brothers special, yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be. But anyway, she films that, and she builds it up as like, look at how destructive the Abarangers are. Their wild rampaging is ruining everything.
A lot of alliteration.
They fight in a garage, and there is no collateral damage on the video. In the actual fight, no civilians are severely injured. Nothing is like, no cars are destroyed, no walls are broken, nothing. Not so much as like a chip in the concrete wall. And she's like, look at all the destruction that these people have caused and wrought upon our society. I'm like, what?
But
what?
I honestly think them doing that was sort of the smartest thing they could have done for like the way that the villains work from Abaranger, where they feed off of negative energy.
Yeah.
So doing this all over the internet and really feeding off of that, so you're like, oh, that's the smartest thing they could have done.
Because the gecko resurrects Abare Killer.
Yes.
Kind of. It's kind of stupid the way they all work it out. But like they bring Abare Killer back. And he's like, I'm going to draw a little Wi-Fi symbol on you. I'm going to shoot it over to her. And now you two are connected. Every time someone says something mean on Twitter or on YouTube or whatever about Abarangers, it'll get fed into you. And that will give you your negative energy. And his ultimate plan is to like drain all the water.
Yeah.
And turn Earth into an uninhabitable, waterless place so that the bad things will come and death. This movie sucks.
There was that whole
This movie's
point.
so bad.
And, like they set it up as to how he's going to drain the water.
Yeah.
With a diuretic.
Oh, with a pee joke.
Oh my god.
A pee joke that honestly made me laugh. The
way
this is shot, it honestly made me laugh.
I had to pause it and just go.
Oh yeah, because what he's what Gecko Lotus, which is thing that he uses to do a thing, and
it's
then
a diuretic, yeah.
And then the other, because like he uses like the little lotus flower coming out the top of his head, shoots little bouncy balls out. He's fighting blue, red, and black.
Yeah,
he's fighting the three of them, and he's like, aha! And these little the little green balls, they bounce into them, and they're like, what happened? And then they run towards him, and then
just I knew something was going to happen because it bounced into their crotches.
Yeah, no, specifically that. And then they run towards him, and they're like, oh god, I really need to pee. And then
Black is like, don't
worry, these suits can handle that.
And I'm just like...
And then I think Blue is like, wait, now you mention this?
Yeah, 20 years later, I feel like that's a little late.
20 years later, now you mention we can pee in them? And then it's like, all right, we just need to let it go. The way the camera like pans back and they stand up and they're like, no, I can't do it. This is hard. But then, sure enough, the Abarangers piss themselves on camera.
into a rainbow.
It's just like we just see like water like sprinkle out up, and they're like, rainbow. Okay, on we go, and it's like I had to take a moment and just be like,
that just happened.
Did what happened? Did what I think just happened?
I had to pause it and walk away because I'm
very
just
easy
like,
to picture that.
This all happens before Ranru comes back.
Yeah, she just kind of shows up.
Well, she was like she wasn't there because she was doing something in
she's
Mexico
at the
for Grand Prix.
Monaco, yeah.
Yeah, Monaco. And then she comes back and like it's so good to see.
Hey, you guys, stop being so sad. And they're like, Ranru's back.
Which is great because it's been, she was retired. Apparently she actually voiced her character in the Go Busters versus Kyo Ryuger.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she wasn't in the credits for that, but apparently she did because somebody took a picture of the three of them behind the scenes.
Oh.
But it was amazing to see her. I loved her character in Abaranger. Black just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's just there.
White ends up getting the second half of this movie is a lot better than the first.
I didn't think so.
When they actually start doing all the fighting and stuff, and the Abaranger dance. I love hearing the theme song and the ending song. I think the ending song is still one of my favorites.
Yeah, the ending song's great.
And then seeing the giant monster dancing to the ending song in the background is like one of the funniest things because he was just waiting for them to transform. It's just him dancing. And I was like, I don't know what's funny. Makoto gets unbrainwashed.
With the power of friendship.
And then he does something with his sword. He's like, and Blue looks at him and pulls out his gun.
This was the funniest. This was the best part of the whole thing.
He was like,
because it's like around the time where they're gonna use Dino Power or whatever Dino Guts, and yeah, White has a moment where it's like he feels like he's not Abare Killer anymore, and he has like a real shonen hero moment, and yeah. And then Blue just pulls his gun out and points at him and is like, okay, who are you?
Sanjo, no!
And that just friggin' killed me. It was the best.
I think the second part of this was during the whole transformation portion. And they were all doing their catchphrase and stuff.
And Red runs up behind Abare Killer and tickles him.
To interrupt him.
As vengeance.
For him getting hit initially. I'm sitting here why does this feel like a love story? Why does it feel... It felt like so much of it. Mm. Just Red's attitude towards Abare Killer was just like... I felt like if this was made now, we would have another Sonoy and Momotaro situation. Because I was like, you're this close to talking about the warmth of his hand and everything. I'm sitting here like...
now kiss.
Really? it felt like that the further along this movie went. I'm just like, God, you two. Just fuck already. Save us the time.
Well, it would have livened this up a little bit.
Yeah, it would have.
It just suddenly cuts to hardcore SIGs.
Also great when, I haven't talked about the new form yet, but it was great when his niece comes back and it was actually her actress. Having something like that happen, especially when she was so young back then.
The scene was stupid, but yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it didn't really feel anything for it because the scene accompanying it was kind of dumb.
Yeah, it was. Talking about harassment and stuff.
So much talk of harassment in this.
It got real annoying. That new form.
I hated it.
Yeah, well, great.
I hated it.
Not a big fan of it.
The way it looks like, whatever. It doesn't look great, but the way
it's the shield.
The way it was used in the story. Let's give everything to the Red. In Hurricaneger, I think it worked. The form looked great. The scene was great. We had gotten enough of a showcase of the other actors doing their stuff. It was filmed at night.
So it was more expensive.
Got some cool stuff with a big CG spider. And then in this one, it's just like, the character grows big. We can't summon the mechs. I don't know, just give all their powers to the Red Ranger. And
the mechs are all still over in Dino Earth.
Yeah.
So that's why. And Top Galer comes back for a little bit while Makoto is back. Because Makoto still has to be dead at the end of this.
It's still dumb.
I'm sorry. It was just... Yeah, this one won't great.
Just give him all the powers and then he can fight the giant monster himself. Alright, I guess that's what we're doing.
Which, they sort of did in the original with Abare Max. But...
I don't think it worked here.
No. which is sad. Although I did like seeing, once again, it's always great just to see like the full cast get back together. And, see them and see Emmy, a.k.a. Abare Pink.
I would have preferred just an interview. Over this, I would have just taken We've Got the Cast Back Together live on Channel 6.
I just wish the first half...
I would have preferred that over this.
I just wish the first half didn't exist. The back half is just like, yeah, it's a lot more fun, a lot more interaction between the characters, that whole scene with who are you? But
again, best part of this whole movie.
But yeah, it just sort of ends. There's no after. We didn't get like a B-roll like we did in the Hurricaneger.
No, we get a little gag of what happens afterwards. Find out after the credits, and what happens after the credits is harassment jokes again.
The worst thing is the fact that we know that the Hurricaneger one is coming up next, so we know that one's going to be good.
You mean the Dekaranger one?
Yes. I was looking at the Hurricaneger.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the Dekaranger one we know is going to be good.
Well, I hope so.
That team
certainly hope so.
I will say, one of the best chemistries. And Doggy's voice actor, like his actual actor, was in the most recent episode of King Oger.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
like him on screen as the actor. Oh, that's cool.
He had like the dog symbol and like he had an S&M pup hood on his shoulder as a prop.
Interesting.
And I'm just like, okay, sure, he's into some stuff.
I mean, hey,
we're not going to kink shame him.
I was going to say no kink shaming, so hey.
But yeah, we know the Dekaranger one's going to be good. This is probably the worst so far. Still haven't seen the Goanger one. Not that interested.
Yep.
So I'm just really hoping that we end up getting a Magic Ranger 20. Guess we'll see. The whole cast seems to be on much better terms now, especially with Green. So
I remember you saying he was the reason we never got anything, just because he didn't get along with the other actors as much.
So I'm really hoping we get one.
It's a shame because I really liked his character.
Yeah, same. I really hope we get one for the 20. And we only have 2 years before that, for 2005. So yeah, I would love to get a 20 for them. Although who knows, because that's going to be the big getting riled up for the big 5-0.
Boy. We shall see. But join us next time.
Oh yeah, we're finally doing G-Bon.
We are reviewing G-Bon next.
Yes, we're really doing
it. The Abaranger one came out, so Marcus is like, we're going to shift a few things around. But now G-Bon is coming next. That will be our next review.
Yeah.
So look forward to that, please.
Yeah.
Until then, have you watched either of these movies? If you did, please let us know in the comments below what you thought. Don't forget to follow us on all of the things. Thank you all very much for watching. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.